Hello there, guys. This is Christy Lewis from Dostoevsky in Space, and this is going to be another unedited video, and it's mostly going to be a TBR for Middle Grade March and Koreadathon and some of the other things that I will be reading. So let's jump right into it. I'm a bit scatterbrained today. It's probably not the best day to film, but whatever. So I've been watching a lot of the Olympics, and it's been really cutting into my reading time, but I can't help it. It's so fun. It's so interesting. And Korea's doing really well, which is cool too. As is America. I mentioned Middle Grade March. And Lent is another thing that's happening during March and April that I will be doing and excited for. So, Middle Grade March, though, I'm planning to read The Railway Children by Edith Nesbit for Kate Howe's Patreon. I actually was planning to read it this month, but I'm not really enjoying it that much. So I don't know. Maybe I'll keep listening next month and see if it's any good. We'll see. I really enjoyed her book, Five Children and It, but it was so magical. It had this magical feeling that I really loved. And this book is more like not magical. So it's just not very exciting to me, but we'll see. So there's that, and then there's also A Single Shard by Luna Sue Park. This is historical fiction. I'm not sure if she's a Korean author or not. I should have double checked that, but it is historical fiction about Korea. So, and it's a children's book that it was a recommendation to me from Tiffany from Beautiful Minutia, because she and her daughter Claire are so excited about K-pop now that Claire wants to study Korea. Yes. So that's really exciting. I've been enjoying K-pop as well. I should have thought of a book of, or of a video of the month. I should do that. I will maybe add a little clip on the end here once I figure out what that video would be. I had a really hard time deciding what my favorite music video would be, because Mark just put out Child, which was incredible. I've been listening to Hot Sauce by NCT Dream like nonstop. Taeyeon just put out a gorgeous new music video called I Envy You, and I've been listening to like all of her backlist, and she's incredible. But I think I'm gonna go with an old favorite just because it's still a favorite every time I hear it. For months, it's been this way, and that is Idol by BTS. I love that song so much. I love every rendition of it that they've done, every performance. Like, they're just incredible at it, and I love it, and I highly recommend it. They were, like, in one scene wearing, like, traditional hanbok. It was one of the first songs that I really fell in love with and was obsessed with it. And yeah, I love Jungkook's dancing in it. Suga looks amazing. All the rapping parts are amazing. Their dancing just is so cool. They have like some traditional Korean dancing in it, and oh my gosh, it's so good. It's just, the whole thing, the whole message is amazing. So check it out. And then check out Priest Reacts to Idol. Funniest video on YouTube. It's put out by Jolly is the channel. It's a priest reacting to the music video called Idol by BTS. I'll link them both down below. Because we also have Koreadathon happening in March. It's a week-long readathon being put on by Books with Chloe and I can't remember the other Kim. I'm sorry, I can't remember. But anyways, they're both Korean booktubers and they're lovely. So I really love Books with Chloe. Like, her whole aesthetic is so wonderful. And yeah, I'm excited to be taking part in their readathon. I didn't mention the co-hosts of Middle Grade March, so that's going to be Krista from Books and Jams, and Amanda from The Curly Reader, and Katie from Life Between Words. She's on Instagram more than YouTube. Katie is. So anyways, yeah, so I'm really excited for both of those. I've been doing Middle Grade March since I actually, before I joined BookTube. So I'm excited about that. So did I mention anything else? Honestly, my middle grade reading is very like, I just do it to relax. So my TBR is very loose. I'm not necessarily saying I have to read this or that. There's another book for Kate Howe's book club that is also a middle grade book. I forget what it was called, but it's like the next month or the month after that, they'll be reading that one. So maybe I'll read that one. And if I'm not enjoying The Railway Kids, we'll see. But I'm probably going to mood read a lot for middle grade because that's just how I roll. I find it very relaxing. And Kevin and I have been listening to middle grade a lot when we are driving to my appointments, because my appointments are about an hour and a half each way. And I was having 2 or 3 appointments a week, and that will be happening again soon. I had about a 3-week break to recover from an injury, and I will be going back next week. So we'll see how long that lasts. Maybe I won't even need to much longer than March, but during March, it will be nice to be able to listen to middle grade. So anyways, so those are my very up in the air plans for middle grade March. I just love mood reading kids books. So yeah. Whoa, hang on. JK. My voice recorder was like fritzing out. I was really nervous. Anyways, okay. So for Koreadathon, I will be working on IQ84, which is actually by Haruki Murakami, who's a Japanese author. But one of the prompts for Koreadathon, and one of the prompts, by the way, for middle grade March was to read something from an Asian country, or set in an Asian country, or by an author from an Asian country, or something like that. And obviously, you could choose anything. It wouldn't have to be Korea. There's a whole bunch of countries that could encompass, including the Middle East. But I chose Korea because, of course, I did. And because it'll fit in perfectly with Koreadathon. Anyways, this IQ84 is a book on RM's reading list, RM from BTS, who is also... So he is a Korean celebrity, and also a celebrity here in the US. But anyways, this is one that he recommended, and I read book 1 out of 3 books, and I really enjoyed it. I only gave it like a 70 out of 100 because honestly, there's a lot of material in here, sexual material, that doesn't need to be there, and it's just like, it's kind of really strange. Like, it's not like reading a romance sex scene at all. It's very sterile, and it's just like showing the sexual lives of all these women, but it's also like very unrealistic in a lot of ways. Like, there's a lot of women just checking themselves out in the mirror, naked and stuff, and it's like, okay, dude. It's kind of weird, kind of like Gabbo in that way. But I think that's almost just like a magical realism thing. Like, it seems like all the magical realism authors do that kind of thing with their female characters. So I don't know. Maybe it's a metaphor. I don't know. I don't really care for that though. But the story though is so interesting. It's like a pair. I don't want to spoil anything because it's almost like the less you know, the better, I feel like. But it seems like they're really early on in like the first chapter or 2. It seems like it enters a parallel universe. And yeah, it's fascinating. I don't really like most of the characters in here, but the story is really, I really am just so gripped and interested. So I know there's been a lot of criticism about him, but I honestly find him very interesting. And that's a book that Victoria sent me, and she recommended him to me, which is why I'm like, okay, I think I'm gonna like this. Victoria likes it. I think I'm gonna like it. So, and another book that I will be reading for Koreadathon is Lemon. Oh shoot, I don't have the last name. It's Lemon by somebody Kwon. I apologize. It's a really big book right now in Korea. It's like, I don't know. I should have looked it up more. I forgot because I have a big list of my things that I wanted to say, but I was doing it at night and I just didn't want to look it up right then. I apologize, but I'm buddy reading this with Una from the Codex Cantina. Maybe we'll do a video about it. I don't know. That would be really exciting. So he's the one who recommended it, and I'm really glad he did. I hadn't even heard of it, but apparently it's really big on like the international translated fiction list right now. I believe it is translated from Korean. So that will fit my translated prompt for Koreadathon. Excited about that one. And I also have a book of Korean history here that Jennifer sent to me, and I was really enjoying it. And it's not even really that long, but since there's no audiobook, I'm very slow. And I had to set it down when all my readathons happened, because I have to keep up with those. But yeah, I would like to work some more on that one and make some progress. Yeah, and then I'll need to also, I have my book taco here with Ivanhoe and the Idiot. I will need to finish the Idiot next month, which I'm loving both of these so much. Like, it's just been a perfect reading month, even though I haven't been reading maybe as much as I wanted to or should have. But it's been wonderful. The Idiot's been wonderful. So I will hopefully be having some videos coming up, 2 for Feb Regency and also 1 for The Idiot soon. The rest of this month and then next month. Those are kind of my plans. I would like to do a vlog. I am vlogging Feb Regency. We'll see if I can get it up there. And then I have a review of Mansfield Park and why it's the best. And then I will maybe do more of a focused video on The Idiot. So anyways, yeah, so those are my plans for that. And then for Lent, my goal is I will be reading Letters and Papers from Prison by Bonhoeffer with Victoria, a musical bookworm. We're buddy reading that, and Tiffany from Beautiful Minutia, as well as I'm going to be limiting my social media from noon to 7 p.m., only in between there. So not in the morning, not in the evening. And I already don't do social media in the evening because it helps me sleep to stop that. But I would also like to stop it in the morning during Lent so that I could just focus better. I just am not, it really wrecks my focus for the day if I get on social media too soon. So that's what I'm giving up for Lent, I guess. But it's actually such a relief and it's so nice. I just regularly delete my social media anyways. But anyways, and then I also, I think this is a pretty doable goal, memorize the first chapter of James, which Rainey has been doing and just doing better than me. We were doing this together and I memorized like the first 14 verses or something. And then I just wasn't consistent enough as soon as I started working on Korean because it's hard for me to focus on memorizing so many things. But I think during Lent, I would really like to finish the chapter of James. So since I worked on the first 14 chapter verses already, I think that should be pretty doable. So anyways, yeah, so I know David Copperfield is another Kate Buckhow book club book, but I don't think that I will have time for that next month because as you can tell, it's already a very busy month. And I also need to work on A People's Tragedy. Like there's a portion of it that I will be reading every month with Danny. Or every 2 months we have a portion. So I would like to read a portion of that with Danny. And then Son of the Deep, which is an arc from Owl's Nest Publishing, which Katie is a part of. She's one of the founders. And I can't wait to read that. Kate has been really talking it up. So it's like a merman story. It's young adult. I can't wait. I really enjoy mermaid stories. My first short story that I ever finished and was so proud of, it took me like a year to finish it, was a mermaid story. So anyways, what else? Oh, and continuing Congo. I should have it right here, but I don't. By David Van something. He's like a Belgian author, an author from Belgium. Belgish. I don't know how you would say an author from Belgium, like what the adjective would be. But anyways, I've been buddy reading this with Tom from Ellie Books, and it's a really great history. I've just learned so much, so I really want to work on that as well next month. So those are my plans. I should be able to finish IQ84 next month, 1Q84, because I've already read book 1 and I'm planning to read book 2 this month. So I'll read book 3 next month, mostly on audiobook. It's honestly great on audiobook. So yeah, those are my plans. If I have time, I would also like to work on a Dostoevsky biography that I have. And the Letters of Flannery O'Connor, which I didn't get to finish. And then Dostoevsky there's some short stories coming out, like the essential Dostoevsky short stories in a new translation. So yeah, those are my plans. I hope you guys enjoyed this TBR. Let me know down below you are going to be reading in March. And if you're doing any of these readathons or read-alongs or whatever with me, if you're doing Lent, middle grade March, Koreadathon, if you're reading The Idiot with us, if you're doing Feb Regency with us. Feb Regency has been so fun, guys. Anyways, I'll talk to you guys later. Okay, bye.